This meeting, I believe, is going out live this evening, and it will be recorded for rebroadcast, so I need to ask if anyone's making a recording of this meeting. No. Okay. First item on the agenda is a public hearing for Wingspan Properties LLC regarding a notice of intent for 12 Paul Revere Road. Is there a motion to open the hearing?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. My name's Jay Finley. I'm with Finley Engineering. I'm here with Bill George, who's a partner with Wingspan Properties. And we're here to discuss Lot 5 on Paul Revere Road, which is located off of Barn Street between Deer Track Drive and Elizabeth Drive. Lot 5 is a 15-acre lot. Much of it is, the backland is wetland, delineated with the green here. What we're proposing to do on the lot is construct a 4-bedroom residential single-family dwelling in this location here with an associated subsurface sewage disposal system. We've got a septic tank leading to a series of infiltrated chambers in this area here. The yellow line is our buffer zone on either side. The only work within the buffer zone is some total slope fill associated with the construction of the driveway and the reserve area. Areas up in here on this lot were tested. They were found not to be suitable for septic systems, and that is the reason that we're down in the buffer zone with the reserve area. And the fill for the driveway is necessitated by the location of the easterly property line. The orange line here is a conservation restriction that was placed on the lot during the approval of the definitive subdivision with some work by National Heritage and the Endangered Species. There is some spotted turtles, I guess, on the site. So this is an approved conservation restriction, and as part of this filing, we filed these plans and the notice with the National Heritage people, and we've been working with Brett Powers over there on some language for an amended conservation restriction which will allow for the construction of a small portion of the septic system, associated breakout fill, the placement of the sedimentation control barrier, the construction of the expansion area in the future if it needs to be done, any associated grubbing, clearing of trees, clearing of vegetation. That we received a letter today, and Sheila has a copy of it, showing their approval of this plan.
I think I emailed that to everybody.
Okay.
DEP has issued their file number on the project. The site is going to be, is on a proposed well, as are all the lots in the subdivision. The well is outside the buffer zone. We show a short line of sedimentation control barrier, silt fence and hay bales here, and pretty elaborate system of hay bales and siltation control fence here. Most of this is already in place. This area here, this is the detention pond here. Most of this area in here is already disturbed, has been disturbed as part of the construction of the cul-de-sac and the fill associated with it. So we will be proposing to formalize the driveway and loam and seed the areas in this area here, obviously in the buffer zone. So that's about the extent of the project, and we'd be happy to answer any specific questions.
I'm familiar with where Paul Revere Road is.
Paul Revere
Across
Road
the
is
street.
off of Barn Street, Deer Track Drive
Okay,
and Elizabeth Drive.
Do you know where that is? If you go to the end of South Street,
yeah,
take a left.
yeah,
to
yeah,
Barnes.
okay.
It's up there on the left.
That's right. Probably a mile after you take that left off of South Street.
Okay.
It's a 9-lot residential subdivision. We were in here not long ago discussing lot 9, and this is lot 5, which is, the construction site is up here. This is basically the remainder and the balance of the land, which most of it's under that conservation restriction.
Yeah.
Okay? I do have the green cards, which I'll give to Sheila on the way out. She does have a copy of that letter, which has a copy of the amended declaration, or the
Yes.
amendment for the declaration.
Yep, she's got that. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Pretty straightforward. No from this side of the table as well? No? And there's no public comment? It's pretty straightforward. I mean, I was concerned about whether you had the wood turtle issue taken care of, which I do, so it seems to be cleared up. So if there isn't anything else,
Move to close.
I'll second that.
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted.
Good. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
Thank you.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
we'll see you soon.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Sheila.
Okay,
You guys
we'll
have a good
see ya.
night.
Take care. Good
Good
night.
night.
We have a few minutes, the 9:15.
Getting ahead of yourself.
Oh, God, I hope
I
not.
think we'll be down here by then.
I think we will.
I think Google Maps is getting a little bit too strenuous for this notebook. This is really slow now. It used to be like zip zip.
So what are they putting on
I
it?
mean, there's a lot more. I mean, look at how much detail there is. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, remember 5 years ago? This would all have been a blur. I mean, you can now like pick out their landscaping.
Yep.
We have like 5 minutes before the 7:15 hearing on the regulations. Do
Right.
you want to do the order of conditions on this to get it taken care of?
Sure, if Sheila can give me
I can.
of course, I have
Can.
multiple copies in my car in my office, but not with me.
I may need
I
to budget
think
for a
you're
new
doing
computer
something
for
with
the, to power
You're
the
selling them on the
meeting room
side?
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't that have a
Yeah,
broken
I'm going on
screen
Craigslist and
from
selling.
years ago too?
Quite a
I
Like the
market.
LCD
Quite a
has a
market.
crack in it or something?
I could give you all of these.
No, I wouldn't do that. That would be
Just
foolish.
lose all of them.
They're not lost. They're just not here.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Misplaced.
I even put one in
Misplaced.
plastic.
No,
for
I know
them.
where
No,
they
you
are.
know
They're just not
they
here.
They're in his trunk.
That's right.
They're in the back seat. They're at the office.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I would say standard order plus the following: 1, 2, 3, 5. There's no more application called for in this plan, correct?
Correct.
8, 9, 11. And that's it.
So your motion is a standard plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, and 11.
Correct.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. We could just have the signature sheet before we forget.
Certainly, I think I have it in here. DEP is kind of, they didn't send me the thing, but I went online and got the number.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I don't know, they're having some problem with some system they've got there now, but
Yeah, I saw something about that.
he called to ask me if I received it. I said no, but I did go to the site and copy the last ones that they've issued, so.
Are we going to see Louise tonight?
As far as I know.
Okay.
Yep.
Just curious.
She didn't tell me she wasn't coming. Which she usually calls me if it's more than just the Rotary.
Mhm.
She usually lets me know.
Thank you.
Do you want to take up the minutes of the last meeting? If you still have some time.
Absolutely.
Number 15? I have to say, Sheila, I really appreciated the detail in the minutes.
Oh, yeah, I think I kind of went a little overboard.
Well, I don't know. To tell you the truth, it helped me to remember some things that I was kind of having some trouble with. So, I mean, the middle school got a lot of info in it, but
Yeah.
I think it's better to err on the side of caution.
Well, it just gives Dan more to look at.
So I have
Yeah.
on the, on the 1, 2, 3, on the big paragraph here, in about the middle, it says the drainage is being reviewed by your engineering
saw that.
firm.
Yeah.
So where?
There? Or
Drainage is being reviewed by the engineering firm.
Of.
Yes.
Okay.
In the middle where it says the drainage
Yeah,
is
yeah.
being reviewed by the engineering firm of Brasser Design and Engineering.
Okay.
So cross out your, put in the, put in
good to
of
go.
after firm.
Got it.
Anything else? There was someplace in there I read a T-H-E-R-E instead of T-H-E-I-R, but I failed to mark it down, so I don't know.
Good.
I don't know where it is now.
I think on the last page there was correction.
Actually, last line of first page.
Ah,
Due to the nature of the site with highly permeable soil, a scale of peak flow mitigation was reached. This was gradually more impractical to meet the peak flow mitigation requirement of 100%. Would it just work better to say it was impractical? I'm not sure the gradually more.
I think I just
I think she
put it just the way
she
he
repeated
said it.
exactly what he said.
Okay.
But
It's really
Whatever.
awkward the way
Okay,
that.
well.
yeah, how
Reads.
about it was impractical? Yeah, I think
Okay,
I like that better. It's
okay. This was more.
Just because
more
someone spoke
this was
unintelligibly.
it was impractical.
impractical. Okay.
Here she is. Otherwise,
Hello, Louise.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm on page 3, but I'm not on a lot of order.
No, we've already finished our first hearing, we did our decision.
Yeah?
We're doing the minutes before the 7:15.
Third to the last sentence, his name was not on the list of the butters from the Auburn Assessor's Office.
Yeah, Mr. Cronin.
Are you stating a fact because you researched that or because
Yes.
he claimed it?
No,
I
we got it,
researched
there's a
it.
copy of the
Yeah.
list in the filing. It was not on it.
His name was not on it because he was thinking that he was deliberately not sent a letter, and I told him, no, your name was not on the list. And I don't know why it wasn't because he lives right across the street from
yeah, I
me.
remember that.
So, but.
And he's
okay.
lived there for like
So
20
I'm
something
just wondering,
years.
in terms of procedurally, that's something that you put in after the fact, right? That didn't happen in the meeting, but
Well, you could say, maybe you could say that, you know, a check of the list in the notice of intent confirmed that he was not on the list.
that's,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
just to clarify that. And then also, under the wetland regulations fee schedule,
Yeah.
I motion to approve. Just I made a motion. Charles Olson made a motion to
Okay.
approve.
Oh, I'm sorry. On the final page? No.
Oh, okay.
Did I really nominate you to be the dam breaching boy?
Wait, what?
Last
One of you
page.
did.
No, as the beaver, well, what were we gonna
Yes.
call it? The
Excuse me?
The beaver enforcement
Um,
officer?
See, I was checking to see
Really?
if anyone read them at home and was going to email
Yeah,
me
that's
corrections, and I
funny.
didn't get any.
Oh,
Um,
I said, I wonder how she decided to call it
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
he is youthful, but I don't know if we should call him a boy.
I feel like I've been disrespected here.
I
I
would feel
was
the same
just
way.
teasing.
I mean, if you're gonna say that, at least put an N on the end of damn. I'll defer to however Mike phrased it last time.
I kind of like dam breaching boy, actually.
Do I get to use explosives? I'm all for it.
No, no. No,
You might want to rephrase that to
but
something more accurate.
Okay, you tell me.
Beaver,
But it wasn't my idea. I'm gonna go to.
beaver dam
How about commando?
specialist? I
Beaver Dam Commando.
don't know. Everybody in the service is a specialist. I make a specialist out
Yeah.
of something.
Dam breaching.
The
Breaching
BDI, the
specialist.
Beaver Dam Inspector.
there you go.
Beaver dam, beaver dam,
Well, that's what you
BDE,
are.
Beaver Dam Enforcer.
beaver dam.
Well, you're not really enforcing, you're just kind
Just
of,
expected.
you're just
BDO.
inspecting for the Board of Health, that's all. To concur that they need to be breached.
Or the beaver dam boy.
All right.
Let's put that's a man instead of boy. Beaver Dam Man.
We used to call it
You
the
are a
beaver
boy
inspector.
to me.
Just call it the beaver inspector.
You used to call it
Okay.
beaver inspector. Might as
Damn.
well.
I like that better than
Official.
dam breaching boy. Seriously.
They were like a thing.
All right, so what are we gonna call it?
Beaver inspector?
Beaver Dam Inspector.
Beaver
There we go.
inspector. That's good.
Beaver?
That's probably.
Could be worse.
That's probably-
D-A-M-N.
That probably is a better description of beaver dam
That was that
inspector.
damn Beaver Dam Inspector again.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else on these
People
minutes?
can
My
say
God, I
that.
hope not.
Let's see.
That was inspired, Sheila. Thank you.
Is that how you spell Bill Clarity?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Clotharty, okay. Clotharty.
Clarity.
It's silent.
Clarity.
Yes, I know.
Clarity is how we pronounce it. Clarity, like,
Yeah,
Okay.
like CLARITY,
yeah,
but it is
I don't have any further
CLOUGATRY.
yeah.
Dan, you've been
Is there anything else?
strangely silent.
There's nothing else that's jumping out at me.
Then is someone inclined to make a
Beaver
motion?
boy.
I would move, excuse me,
All right,
thank you. I would move to approve the meeting minutes of November 13 of 2013 as amended.
Second.
any other discussion on these minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted.
I will abstain
Okay.
because I
Oh,
was not.
you were not here,
that's
I'm
right.
sorry, I forgot.
Okay.
Okay, being that it's now just after 7:15, our 7:15 hearing is relative to our adoption of our regulations
Mm-hmm.
in conjunction with our new Auburn Wetlands bylaw. And so is there a motion to open the hearing?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. So we have no one here with questions, and I haven't received anything in writing, and I don't believe Sheila has anything either.
Nope.
So, do the board members have any final issues that you want to, I know Sheila made
I did find a couple
Scrivener's error.
little errors.
Well, where?
little Scrivener's errors.
I mean, are the section references all lined up to
Yes,
the? Okay.
yes. Oh, we have to put in a date too, before we,
Well, we can't because we don't know when they're going to be approved.
so after this public hearing, they wouldn't be approved?
I thought that's, we've established after this hearing when they're going to effect.
Oh, okay, I
Okay.
see.
I
So
guess
you
the-
could say July 1st next year if
Well,
you
no,
wanted
my
to.
question was, do we have to submit these for further review? Or by, voting on these, can we implement them immediately? Or even say January 1st of 2014, which might be an appropriate date?
Well,
Does this
Mine-
have to go through town council?
no.
Okay.
My understanding is once the bylaw was enacted by town meeting,
Mhm.
that we promulgate regulations on the administration
Right,
of
so
the
we have
bylaw.
final say.
Right.
Okay, then what I would suggest is for 1.08, which is on page 23, that we make them effective as of January 1st of 2014.
Is there a motion?
So they can be effective before town meeting? Is that what you
Town
said?
meeting has nothing to do
Oh, I
with
thought
it.
you
No,
said
already
the town
approved.
meeting had
No,
to
no.
do something.
I said,
Oh.
the bylaw was passed at town meeting
Oh,
a
okay.
year and a half ago.
Right.
We're charged with coming up with regulations. The only thing I have, the only thing, comment I'm thinking of is perhaps we should give it a 30-day
Reprieve?
wait
Yeah.
before the implementation. If someone's working on a notice of intent right now, they're gonna have to, if someone was working on a notice of intent right now based on the regulations that are in force, they're not gonna be addressing buffer zone as a resource area, do you know what I mean?
I understand.
And they're not gonna be prepared for a fee schedule that's gonna go implemented too.
We could even push it out a little bit more than that to maybe February 1st.
Yeah, I think that
I
would be
like-
like 45 days, that would be good, I
I was
think.
thinking April 1st.
No.
Let's not wait that long.
You're
No.
a troublemaker tonight,
Yes, she is.
huh? But aside
Instigator.
from
Yourself
that,
is important.
what do we need to do or what will be done to publicize these? Do you know? We have to notify Julie, I assume,
I think we should probably provide them with copies, and
and
I
it should be
think the
posted
town
on the
clerk,
website.
The
Yeah.
town clerk has a copy.
the town clerk has a copy, and I think they should I think they should go on the, I think if the bylaw isn't already there, it should be.
I have
along
a-
with the
I think
regulations.
bylaw is on the website.
I believe it is too.
I have a slight tweak to one of the definitions. I don't know if this is just a typographical error. We're looking on
What
page 7, bottom. Creek means the same as stream of a river. I'm guessing that was supposed to be means the same as
Creek
stream
means a
or
stream.
river. Because I have no idea what a stream of a river is.
I think it's
Or.
That's a Scrivener's
I
error.
think it's or.
It's the same
Instead of
is
R.
the same as stream or river.
What other areas did you notice, Sheila?
Are you on page 7?
Just like brook.
Bottom
I've
of
got-
page 7.
Oh, this here,
Sure.
and often a tributary of a river, for some reason that got erased, so I've gotta put that back in.
What page?
Same page, 7,
Okay.
right here, brook,
Natural stream of
it
water.
says in parentheses, and often a tributary, it's supposed to be of a river,
Okay.
which got erased
So
somehow.
that only of a river?
Right, just of a river,
And then
and parentheses.
Okay.
And then the date. This one, okay. Oh, it was just like here, I needed to put a space in here. And
What page?
little things like that.
You're pointing at things and not
Oh, you
saying
mean
what.
like
Oh,
on
I'm
page-
sorry.
Yeah.
Vernal pool?
Yeah, vernal pool,
Okay.
just
Okay.
needed a space there.
Yeah, I mean, that's formatting.
Right.
I'm not concerned with
Now, is
formatting.
some of the print lighter and faded out because of the copier that you used?
Yes.
or-
They're running out of toner, maybe.
Right, it's
Yeah.
all straightened out now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I've got a real good copy here.
I mean, if there's nothing else to discuss, I mean, we've spent a lot of time on these. I think we've done, I think, a good job implementing, regulations that are appropriate for a town of this size.
I mean, I'm guessing some of the only things left would probably be like pre-existing typos from whichever town we pulled the
Yeah.
definitions from that they didn't catch.
Right, I think Sheila's done a very good job going through and
Me too.
cleaning it up. I mean, we made an awful lot of changes. It was a lot of rewrites for her to
These
lot of
days will
jokes.
look good for everybody.
Jokes and a lot of
Yes.
horsing
No.
around.
Hopefully no hidden jokes in the text.
I don't think so.
That'd be
There was
more
nothing
like-
about beavers in there.
No funny acronyms, Sheila.
No?
All right, then if there isn't anything else, I mean, certainly Sheila can make the formatting corrections that she needs to
Are people good with the date?
Well,
clean it
yeah,
up.
I mean, I would move
That's the biggest thing.
that the effective day of the regulations be February 1st of 2014.
One second.
Okay, and there's a second on that motion?
One second.
Okay, is there any other discussion on these? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
He's gonna
Hit the
celebrate.
gavel.
Wait.
That's a lot of work, Rachel.
Hallelujah.
That's a lot of work.
Open some sparkling cider.
Yeah, and just wait till we have,
Well, I guess my question is, do we need to formally approve the regulations as amended, or do we just do that?
I thought we just did that.
Okay, that's cool. Yippee.
Okay,
All right.
we're just shy of 7:30, so I guess we're gonna have to wait a moment.
Miscellaneous.
Oh,
Oh,
um,
I would have brought the photos, but I forgot to bring them.
Yeah.
So.
Magna Vista Drive, I can't remember what was the deal with that.
That was the email that we got. Let me see, I'll find it.
That was a complaint that we got from the same neighbor, I believe, that had a problem with it.
Here it is. One Magna Vista called, something about the tiered yard and some of the waters in the wetlands in the lower part of the tier 3. Was there somebody blowing leaves into that third tier, onto the second and third tier? They're blowing the leaves off into the wetland area.
I guess we'll have to take a look at that when the snow and ice is not there. once we can verify that, I mean, we can certainly tell the homeowner that they should not be doing that, but until we see it. Mass DOT 12 and 20. Sheila amended the order of conditions, the agenda to include another agenda item with this. There was some emails back and forth from DEP to me within the past week and a half or so. Mary L. Stone, who's the administrator of the Wetlands Division in Worcester, had communication with DOT in Boston relative to some redesign of some detention basins out at this construction site. And Mary L. was inquiring as to whether they had sought an amended order of conditions from this board, which they have not.
Right.
And they had advised, Mary Ann DePinto was working on getting the information for Mary L. Stone. And Mass DOT in Boston had advised Mary Ann that because the redesign was within the same footprint of the original project, and because it did not cause any impact to wetlands, that they didn't feel that they needed to make any amendments. So I advised Mary Ann DePinto that this board strictly follows DEP policy 85-4 relative to amended orders, and that we handle them as per their policy, which means that we would expect to have an amended order of conditions. So, what I was going to contact Bill Clarity at DEP, but then I thought it was time to get it on the agenda because this came up on Monday. So, what I thought maybe the board would consider doing is sending a letter to Bill Clarity at Mass DOT Worcester, making him aware, if he's not already aware, because it seems like the Worcester office wasn't a party to this, it seemed like it was from Boston, to make them aware that we're looking for a request to amend their order of conditions to reflect the redesign of their detention basins out there.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Is there a second?
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Oh, I'm stained.
You're abstaining? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Dan, sorry. So anyways, I just wanted to make you aware of that. It may be a minor thing, but, we have to be consistent.
Absolutely.
If you do it the same way all the way through, then who can criticize you? So anyways, okay, so we'll do that. Let's see. I was informed about probably a month ago now that there may be a wetlands violation at the corner of Hill Street and Prospect Street. And I intended to bring it up at the last meeting, and I neglected to do so. And of course, it's going to be tough to see anything now, but the report that I got was that there were significant wetlands on the interior of the property. This property was formerly owned by, I think it was Ernest Mitchell.
Yeah.
It has a new owner now. And according to the caller, there's been substantial filling in of what the caller thought were wetlands on the property.
Yeah, that was the one, Mike, that I thought you thought there were springs on the property. Remember, they had taken last year, they had dug a trench about 10 feet in from Prospect Street.
From the street, right.
And dug it down a couple feet to have this water go around into the town drain, catch basin. And then they brought some fill in. There's no vegetation that would indicate that it's wetland, and I think you had viewed
But
that.
that was along the edge of the street. This
Yeah.
caller
Yeah.
was talking about the interior of the property. So
Yeah.
I can't quite
But there's
picture
no,
it. but-
everything's visible from the street, and I thought you had thought that there was springs on it. Does that sound right?
I
you?
have a vague memory of that.
Yeah.
Very vague.
Because, last time it was just, whoever said something before, we just, I thought Mike had said, because this is right around the corner from me, I see it every day.
It's down the street from that property.
I don't know who the
Yeah.
property owner is now.
Are those the houses?
It's
Those
way
are
up
the
on Hill.
houses.
It's on the corner of Hill.
Hill and Prospect.
We're on Hill and Prospect.
Well, yeah,
but
it's
we're
right here,
talking-
but it's like 3 blocks from
Yeah,
that property.
yeah.
Now I have a better sense of where it is.
There's my house right here.
I can see my house.
Yeah.
Hello, NSA. Oh.
See, they had cut some of the trees down. I think that's what prompted the initial call, and then they dug that trench.
Okay.
We're probably gonna have to follow up in the spring now, I don't know what you're gonna see.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly if we start getting storm events as they're predicting we are, then there's not much we can do.
Yeah. And like I said, I totally meant to bring this up before, and it slipped my mind.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold enough also that whatever snow we get, it's not going to be melting in the next week.
Yeah.
Right,
You're right.
so, I'd like to keep this, I'd like to put that on the agenda and keep
They
it there.
did bring some fill in,
So
and
we
it
don't
was
forget.
parked there for months, and then they did just spread
Yeah,
it
they spread
recently.
it out. Mhm. That's what I heard.
Mm.
So, if we can put that on the agenda so we don't
Yep.
forget it, and just try to take a look at it when we can. All right, 7:30, we had continued public hearing on the playground at the Pappas Recreation Complex. We had a request to continue this. Was there a specific date that you wanted it continued to?
She's thinking the second meeting in January, hopefully.
Okay.
Definitely not the first one, I think.
So that would be the 22nd, I think?
Yeah.
So is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
I'll second that. 22nd.
Any discussion? The 22nd of January, at what time? Do we have anything on?
No, not right now. Wanna
So
make it
7?
7?
Okay.
Seven
Okay.
sounds good.
So continue to January 22nd at 7 o'clock. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Second
Opposed?
that, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Yeah.
Dan.
Okay.
So it's unanimous vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that was easy enough. Now we can't do the 7:45.
Yeah, well, what else have we got here? We've got Mike
Oh,
Reed's
certificate of
certificate of compliance.
Yes, for 404 Washington Street, we have a request for certificate of compliance. Some of us have been out there.
Yes.
The certificate request. The as-built, put the as-built.
Was there a motion, or?
Yeah, I would move to issue a certificate of compliance for 404 Washington Street.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Sheila, could we just do the signature sheet so we don't forget?
Sure.
Please.
It's right here. Here we go. And then we've got a certificate of compliance too for 736 Southbridge Street.
We do?
That was,
Lynn Bosky.
yeah.
Is that I don't remember seeing that in the packet.
I don't think so.
I just don't think what happened with that.
Paul, also. Are these chiclets?
What?
What are these?
That's gum.
Okay.
Some kind of gum. Sugarless. The rest are mints
Is
or
it on the
breath
agenda?
mints or
It is on the agenda, but I'm trying to think if we brought in anything.
lozenges. Oh, peppermint. It's a mixed bag.
Advil,
Yeah, right.
looks like.
No painkillers, man. Sorry. No drugs. Just sugar.
I don't think if that was the one from like 2000.
It's placebo.
No
Do we have a
caffeine pills.
request for it?
I don't think he gave me a written one.
You gotta have a written request for a certificate
Yeah.
certificate of compliance.
Yeah, I think we'll
Okay.
pass that on to the next meeting.
All right.
Just let him know. I mean, we've gotta have the same form that we got from 404
Maybe
Washington
he just
Street.
didn't get everything to me yet. I there's 2 issues going on there.
Okay.
Okay. Did you get that signature sheet back?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
The only other thing I have left is your input on budget. I know it's kind of last minute. I had a conversation today with Adam Burns, Director of Inspectional Services, and as you know, as a result of the charter reorganization, all of the boards and commissions, all the land use boards and commissions fall under the Department of Inspectional Services. So we're all rolled into that budget. So they have to have their budget in by January 7th. So the question is, we don't have this on the agenda, but they're looking for input from me. I wanted to ask the board if there's anything on there that you think we need increased, or is there something else that you think we need to add to what's here? I think this is basically a flat, you know,
Well, we are going to have, we have a new source of revenue from the fees and
yep,
et cetera that are going to be in the effective regs, so.
right.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that affects our budget.
I just wanted to say too, I did just get the fees for MACC for next year at 385. So we've got 400 here, so.
I guess I'd forgotten that the budget got bumped up for this past year from 10, 11, 12.
Now, there's also a line item for education of $900. Is we're going to be able to keep that?
Yeah,
What do you
looks
mean?
like it.
He said to make,
That's
well,
the
this is the
projection.
amounts that are being requested, so
Right.
we'll see if it falls from the finance committee. I mean,
I think given the fact that we are going to start generating our own fees,
I think,
yeah, I think, I wouldn't add anything to this.
No,
It
because-
looks appropriate.
Plus
exactly.
the other filing fees we have that we can tap into those for anything, correct?
Right.
And our current budget is higher than it was 3 years ago, so.
Right.
We don't do
you have
de-reading
it?
anymore.
Do you have any idea what the balance is right now in the
No, I
wetland filing
don't.
fee?
It was
Revolving account?
46,000 at one point, but, we've paid a lot up to Pappas.
Yeah.
And I don't know
If you have a
some of
chance,
my
if you can
income-
check that out and let me know.
Yeah,
That'd
sure.
be great. All right,
New
so,
fees that we're going to be taking in, they're going to be set aside for us and not going into.
they're supposed to be set aside.
Yeah.
That's
Did you
what I
talk to
understand.
Ed at all? Because
I
I
have
did
not.
bring the
I'm gonna-
subject up to him, but, he's always
They may
like,
have to
talk
create
to
a
me
new-
next week, and,
I hate to have them create another revolving fund, because you know how town meeting is
Mhm.
with all the revolving accounts.
Right.
But we have to find a way for that money to be allocated for us. But I'm sure they can follow the same format as the planning board with the fees that they collect for subdivision,
Yeah.
subdivision islands and that sort of thing,
Should
so.
be the same model.
that's a peer review account is usually what we put certain fees in, and then we've got peer review. I don't think would be a big deal to set up a new account.
No, just under conservation instead of planning board. So, I will talk to him about
And
that.
then funds.
All right, so everybody's pretty comfortable with leaving things the way they are,
Yes.
okay? And I will talk to Adam about that then. Okay, we still have to wait till 7:45, so.
Okay.
There's one other thing on here.
Extension
Deer
Bee
Hill
Hill
Run.
Run. I don't know if they say anything on that either, how that goes. Let me see.
Do you want to take a recess until 7:45 since we don't have any other business?
It's like 3 minutes.
Couple minutes.
Oh, maybe I'm slow. Okay.
3 minutes.
I have about 3 minutes.
Verizon says
Yeah, so
7:42.
then, Ian, this was the meeting of that 29th for Camden Drive. I don't know if you could just maybe clarify what you wrote there. Remember you said you couldn't find the minutes that you wrote? Remember that meeting, you just came in here for the vote for Camden on
Oh,
the
you met at
29th?
school
Yes.
before town meeting.
Yeah, I just couldn't understand what you had on the bottom there as far as who said what or voted what. Whenever, you don't have to do it tonight.
Garland made the motion.
When was it?
I wrote 80 seconds, but I don't know, I'll have to think about this.
All right, you can email me. All right.
Okay. Keep forgetting there's no clock up there.
There.
Oh, it's over there. 1
Its
minute.
space got taken up by the display and then it got moved.
remember when you knocked it off the wall?
Vaguely. That was a long time ago.
Damn Breachman boy.
Knocking the clock off the wall.
Official clock breaker.
Hey, but it still works. So.
Breaching bands for years.
We have to be precise when we start these meetings. So.
I was going to be a
Unlike some people.
No, it's accurate. Until we have a power failure.
All right, being 7:45, we have a continued public hearing on the agenda for the Auburn Middle School. From 5 to 7 West Street, 780 Southbridge Street. Is there a motion to reopen this hearing?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Someone here to address this or not?
I hope
No?
so.
Whoops.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes? No?
Yeah.
I know the peer review is not finished, so still an issue, but
We have not, we've gotten preliminary comments and revised drawings were submitted to Graves and the town.
They were submitted, so far they've been just submitted to the peer review engineer.
Okay.
We,
Graves engineer.
yeah, they issued us a set of draft comments. They weren't formally submitted to the town. We've been kind of working back and forth together. So they've got a follow-up set of drawings and calculations that address their draft comments, and which also, I think if you remember when we were here last time, the initial submittal, the biggest change that we were anticipating was making modifications to the stormwater system.
Yep.
So that it fully complied with the stormwater standard. That's been completed and resubmitted. So the intent of that revised design is that we're in full compliance with all of the stormwater standards for the site in all respects, per DEP's direction.
right.
And that's what's being reviewed currently now by the peer review engineer.
So do you have any idea, I understand from watching the planning board meeting last evening that it was only very recently that revised draft back to Graves went. Do you have any idea when that is expected to?
I know from
Wrap up.
talking to Jeff Walsh that they're reviewing it now. He knew that they were not going to have it available for tonight's meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm not sure. I would anticipate it's probably not going to be too far in the future because they've already reviewed, the rest of the project basically.
This really seems to be the only issue, right?
It's the only conservation issue.
Right, the stormwater issue.
So, do you want me to talk about the meeting dates or?
Well, we understand, we've been advised that the planning board, we've been continued with the planning board to
Till January 7th, yep.
And I know your next meeting is January 8th, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Mhm.
So in terms of, maybe you could address the order,
Yeah, we just want to get a sense of, because as you're aware, the intent is to release an early bid package for the site construction portion of
Right,
the
you
project.
told us that, yep.
So if we, working with Graves over the next couple of weeks, and there's some issues we need to work on with the DBW as well, that might result in some additional plan changes. If those are worked out to their satisfaction by the January meeting, everything, was resolved basically, and the project is, if it's approved at that meeting, how long would it take to generate the order of conditions corresponding to that approval? Because the order of conditions ideally needs to be included in the bid package that goes out to the contractors for the site construction.
If we close the hearing on January 8th, that's what we end up continuing it to. We typically issue our order of conditions the same night.
Okay. So would there be potential for, do you guys have a draft set or a boilerplate set of conditions that we might be able to take a look at ahead of that
Nope.
meeting? No? Is that a
We've
yes
never,
or no?
I've never had that, we've never had that request
No.
before.
Well, we have,
Not essential, just, so
we have a boiler, we have a list of conditions that we typically draw from, but oftentimes there are specific conditions to a particular project that we add too.
Sure.
And we don't always include that, not all of the conditions on the laundry list necessarily would apply to the project either.
One of the reasons I was asking that was because sometimes if we get a draft set of typical conditions that are, applied by this commission, there may be aspects of those conditions that we can include in the drawing and document set. You know, or if there anything that happens to conflict in some minor way with the specifications that we've already prepared for the project in terms of construction considerations, you know, we can make those align so there aren't any last minute changes that we need to make on our end to make sure there aren't any conflicts with typical conditions that the commission provides.
I guess the only concern I have, I don't know what the rest of you think, but I hesitate to get involved in deliberation versus hearing, versus taking in testimony during the hearing process. And I understand your need.
It's not a need, it's just
I'm just a little-
a request.
I mean, we're not, under the open meeting law, they're very, very strict about not deliberating before you close your hearing, and I don't know if that could be construed by some as possibly deliberating,
Sure, I wouldn't want it.
you know? There's
was
been a
just-
lot of things in the newspaper lately relative to boards violating the open meeting law, and I'm just really, that's my only concern.
It's totally fine.
I'd be glad to talk to DEP about it, or to get it,
It's
you
fine.
know.
I was just thinking of things that might,
Yeah, I mean, if the board directed, if the board, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but if you wanted me to make inquiries about that, I
It's-
don't mind doing that, but
it's not that important.
Okay.
It was just
all right, that's my only concern, I just,
a thought.
I mean, I'm only one person, so you guys tell me what you
No, I
think.
mean, I think that most of the conditions are more related to not the design. We go through the design and we go through that. It's more related to how the project actually gets built. So you didn't be putting the cart before the horse. I mean, you gotta go
Right.
through your stuff first, and then, you know, we have the conditions based on what we, placed in the hearing, so.
And as far as the technical aspect of the stormwater calculations and that sort of thing, we're relying on the professional engineers in the you know, the town, between our town engineer and our assistant town engineer. Of course, the town engineer is also the director of the DPW, but the peer reviewer, the PE of the peer reviewer too. I mean, we look to them for guidance on the technical aspect of it, so I think we would take all of that into consideration before we did our order of conditions, but that's just my thought. Yeah.
Do you have anything on the agenda for the 8th?
Yes,
At what time?
I think it's 7 o'clock, I think.
So
Diamond, right?
7:15? Is that what you guys are requesting to the next possible meeting? January 8th?
Unless we were able to somehow get the peer reviewers' comments in the next couple of days or so, and then we could somehow do a meeting prior to that, but
That's not gonna happen.
You know, I doubt that you're gonna have that with the holidays, but, and even if you did, you know, with all, the planning board was pretty adamant last night, they weren't gonna meet on December 23rd, neither are we, I don't think.
understood.
Not Christmas
And
Eve.
if they're not gonna meet until January, and you don't even know right now when you're gonna get your peer review stuff, it seems kind of pointless to meet Christmas Eve, you know, but, I don't know, I mean, we'll do our best, we always, you know, we had a hearing earlier tonight, we already did the order of conditions, and that's very typical for this board, we rarely don't issue an order of conditions the same night. And, you know, even though we're in deliberation, you know, one of you is certainly welcome to attend the meeting. I hate to see all of you come, but, you know, if one of you wants to come to get a heads up on what we vote on, that's perfectly fine. You know, but,
So it sounds like January 8th at 7:15 is the first available date. So I'll make a motion that we close the that we do not close it, we continue it to January 8th at 7:15.
I'll second that.
okay, before we do that, is there any other discussion, comment, question, or anything? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Thank you for coming out, hope you have a lovely holiday.
I just have a quick question. When you said that somebody could come when you guys are deliberating on it, does that
Yeah,
mean?
you can't talk, the public hearing is over with,
Sure.
but it's still during a posted public meeting, and you certainly have every right to sit here and listen. You
Or you
can't
could-
make any comment, you can't say, why are you doing that, you can't say, but what about this? but you can
Were
listen.
you talking about you're still talking about the January 8th meeting?
Correct.
Yes.
After we
Okay.
close the hearing.
Right.
before
We'll
we
close the
decision.
hearing
I thought you might have been talking about another.
No, I just,
That's
you know,
once the hearing's closed.
once the
Yeah,
hearing
we-
is closed, you can't make
Same
any,
night.
you can't make any additional comment or interfere or anything, but you can certainly come in and listen. I didn't want to make it sound like, you know, you couldn't be here, but,
Oh, no,
you know, you can, certainly.
thank you.
All right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice holiday and we'll see you.
Merry Christmas.
in January.
Happy Festivus.
Drive
Happy
safe.
Festivus.
Got some more snow coming.
Dipping weight is weight.
Always nice to hear from a fellow Seinfeld fan.
I didn't know Festus
Good
actually
night.
had a day.
December 23rd.
I know.
1/8 at 7:15, you said?
7:15.
1/8.
Got it.
Saturnalia.
That time.
That's where Christmas came from. It's Roman celebration.
And now we have to
25th.
wait until 8 o'clock for the next.
That's 5 minutes. We're just rolling right along.
Aren't we?
I feared this was gonna be a 10 o'clock night, you know?
Want to adjourn for 5 minutes?
Yes, I would, can we take a 5-minute
Make a
recess
motion
to come back?
Serious?
to adjourn for
Yes.
5 minutes.
Shirley is kidding.
Well, we're
Is
not
there a second?
adjourning, we're taking a
Shirley.
recess.
A recess, not an
Recess.
adjournment.
Hello,
Recess.
Leslie Nielsen.
Recess.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted, thank you.